That's my emotional support, Marty. Woo! Okay, it has been a minute, right? It has been a minute since I've been on my channel, and let me tell you why. I don't know why. I don't have any answers for you there, but it's been a minute, and so I've had a few. I've had one. This is the only one I've had, but I'm a lightweight now. Did you guys know nacho fries are back? Hi, welcome back to my channel. Forgot how to do this. Motherfucker. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, it used to go a lot smoother than this. Today is a special day, and by that I mean it's Tuesday. Shane Dawson dropped his first conspiracy video of 2022, and it was 47 minutes. Conspiracy Theories with Shane Dawson 2022, which was, when I got the notification, originally titled The Ultimate Conspiracy Theory with Shane Dawson. Obviously, it was no secret that this video was coming because Shane mentioned it in his last very boring video. In 7 hours, it's received 572,000 views. Which again, don't ever tell me cancel culture is a real thing. We're going to take a different approach to today's video, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But before I do, please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that you can get potential updates when I decide to upload. I gotta be better. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are subscribed, make sure you're still... It was just one. It was just one, truly. So, today's video is not sponsored, but today's video is... I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched this 47-minute and 36-second video twice, and it was just as boring the second time. Look. He had me with the Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Granted, he was still in public favor then. He had me with the iPhone listening, or what was it? The iPhone doing the live photos and the deep fakes and all that stuff. Even if I was like, okay, whatever, I've heard all this, this is dumb, this is debunked, this is this, it was at least a riveting story, you know what I mean? It was cohesive. It made sense. This is not that. My hair is crooked, and I'm so sorry if you're like me and that bothers you. But you're just gonna have to cope. Like I said, this video is terribly boring, but we are gonna watch it together, and I will continue to drink, and I will continue to commentate, but I wanted to make it a little more interesting. In the last video about Shane's boring video, I threatened. Dare I say, I threatened to make a fucking Shane Dawson bingo card. And that's exactly what I've done. It's not really bingo because we're not playing bingo, but we are drinking, and I encourage you to play along at home, maybe with water, not alcohol. And I'll take the hit on the other. I'll walk you through what we've got here. We're gonna be playing along the whole time while we're commentating, okay? So we're just gonna keep it a little lighthearted, a little fun. So we've got Shane pretends to be scared / overwhelmed. We've got an unnecessary or confusing timeline jump. Chris gives me vertigo. Shane's small voice, which I know isn't one that you would expect on the card. Like, that's not a typical like Shane Dawson trope, but you'll get there, trust me. I'm scared, of course. Big one, Sajak is bored. I feel like I'm probably going to be pretty drunk by the time this is over. Jared needs to respectfully touch grass. You'll see. Ew, in quotation marks, so we'll be looking out for that one. This is these two are kind of like a break in the story, or a break in the video, if you will. So we're going to take a quick break for something called That Sounds Like Bullshit. And then we have another one called Research Time. So we're gonna you know, we're gonna really be cracking into this bad boy, okay? And as always, I will be mailing this to one of you if you want it. No, I started to take notes and then I just got bored, so let's just watch this and make fun of it together, okay? Okay. I miss my YouTube Premium. You know, if you're a creator, if you're a monetized creator, you should get Premium for free. That's what I think, anyway. Obviously, we always start with our disclaimer. The following theories are meant for entertainment purposes only and not meant to cause harm to any individual or company.
They are actual and real.
You know, you reached out and...
Hand.
Or how are we going? How are we going about on this? Starting it off. We're just going hot?
Yeah, I'll start it. I'll wing it.
Hell yeah.
I'm so glad they left that in. That was absolutely an integral, an important, a very, 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 very necessary clip that they left in just then. I feel like they're always, okay, I know we're only like, we're not even a minute in here, but like I always feel like there's a vision here. Like I can see their vision. I can see they're aiming for, you know, like obviously docu style, right? Like, you know, a lot of times the cold open or the beginning of a doc will be like, yeah, you know, how are we gonna do this? How is it gonna go? But it just feels so fucking convoluted and forced. Anyway, that's all.
Okay, so we are here with my brother, Jared, the biggest conspiracy theorist I know.
Hello, everybody.
Who you guys might remember from the Flat Earth video, where we were joking about it, but also like pretty crazy.
I mean, it's hard to joke about things that, you know, are that crazy, though.
Is it though? Is it hard to joke about things that are that crazy? Because I think it's pretty easy. I think it's really easy, actually.
So, okay, the simulation theory. I thought I knew a lot about it, and then I was texting with my brother, and I realized, oh, I don't know shit. Because some of the things he was saying was making my mind blow.
Some of the things he said was made my mind blown. I know it's just a nitpick, but what was that sentence?
I think most people know the base idea, right? Which is we're all living in some sort of simulation. It's all like a matrix. It's all computers. It's not real. And maybe at some point we can break our way out of it.
That's the idea that most people have, yes. That we're being controlled and nothing is really our choice. It's all kind of predetermined, right? When I did a video on the flat earth with a gentleman named Mark Sargent.
Hold on, we're gonna get into Mark Sargent in just a second. But isn't what he described just then the same concept as fate? Like, in theory? I feel like there's a lot of, like, religious undercurrents to this idea of, like, the flat earth, and the way that Jared describes a simulation, which we'll get there. But, like, I just don't want to forget to say that. Like, I keep, both times I've watched this, the only thing I could hear when Jared describes like this idea of the simulation and the creator and the universe and all this stuff, it feels very either cult-like, like Scientology-ish, or just like straight up any run-of-the-mill, like, what do you call that? Monotheistic. Thank you. Thanks, Googs. Yeah, it feels like any monotheistic religion. But anyhow, let's talk about Mark Sargent. Research time. I did a little bit of reading on Mr. Mark Sargent. Not a ton, you know, I'm just looking. This is from heraldnet.com. And let me read you a little snippet here. At the supermarket, Mark Sargent might appear to be just another middle-aged guy in line. In his car, not so much. I think that's true of all of us. The license plate on his white Chrysler sedan reads, "It's flat." I bet it is. Sargent is a frontrunner for flat earthers on the globe or disc or whatever it is that keeps us from bouncing up to Mars. Not that he believes in Mars. The entire Apollo program is a fabrication. NASA was created to keep this thing under wraps, says Sergeant 50. We are living in structure, a planetarium, a terrarium, a Hollywood backlot like the Truman Show. The surface is like a dinner plate, he said, with Washington sitting near the middle and Antarctica a frosty rim. And no, it doesn't spin. He makes money at proselytizing that the world is flat. Yeah, surprisingly, Sargent said. He's being flown to a San Francisco meetup later this month and will speak at a New Zealand convention in the spring. Sargent lives with his mom, Patty, a retired home economics teacher, in her golf course condo off Highway 525, a few miles south of Freeland. Why are we doxing him? I can understand where he's coming from, she said. It's eye-opening. I want the truth to come out no matter what it is. That's proof you can convince your old mother of anything. Sargent's sister is not a convert. It's one of those topics in families that you don't bring up. I don't know about you, but like this guy seems totally credible. If you can't take advice from someone who got kicked out of Western Washington University for making illegal fireworks to sell and later won a digital pinball championship when he was on probation, and then spent 20 years making a living playing video games and doing tech support in Colorado, who the fuck can you trust about the flat earth theory? I'm open to conspiracy theories, okay? I'm not like, oh, I don't buy any of it. I think it's stupid. I think they're really, really fun to think about, to read about, to learn about. But they are just conspiracy theories, right? Even through this whole video, Jared, Shane's brother, talks about his opinions, what he feels things are like. Well, I don't think it's like this. I feel like it's like this, right? Which is totally legit. Have your opinions, have your theories. That's why they're conspiracy theories, right? But you've got people like this guy, like Mark Sargent, who are like making a living off of pushing a conspiracy theory so hard in a time where we live in just a huge vat of misinformation that can cost people their lives, their livelihoods, their fucking, like, I mean, it could be detrimental to spread misinformation. Now, this isn't really detrimental to spread, but it is fucking stupid.
Who's one of the big figureheads of the flat earth, I had brought up to him that I wanted to explore the simulation theory. And he told me that the simulation theory is the ultimate. Once you land on the simulation theory, everything correlates, nothing else matters, and it will just suck everything out of you if you allow it to.
Okay, but here's the thing. How do you know that that is true? How does Mark Sargent, pinball wizard, know that that is the truth, right? Because we talk in this video, and we'll get to it. I feel like I've said we'll get to it a bunch of times, but we will. They talk a lot about, like, there is so much to know that you can't even know it. Like, there's just so much beyond our realm of our scope of knowledge that we can't even think of the knowledge that we would learn. Like, it's that outrageous, which is cool, right? And that's totally plausible. But, like, you can't then turn around and state fact about, you know, the universe. This is the, you know, the ultimate experience is simulation. You know, we're living in this simulation and X, Y, and Z happens. You can't say that because you also don't know. Like,
to get into it, just to lay the groundwork, the original simulation theory was brought out in 2003 by Nick Bostrom.
Okay, before we get into those scenarios, let's talk about Nick Bostrom by having a little more research time. Who knew all the research I'd be doing tonight? This one's black cherry. Let's see how it is. Ish. I'm sorry that I always do that, like, lip smacky thing when I taste something new. I'm sure if you have misophonia that bothers you, but get fucked, it's my channel. I also looked into Nick Bostrom a little bit. Bostrom? I don't know, obviously I didn't look into him enough to learn his name. This article comes from Vulture.
Hello everybody. Vulture lives.
This was an interview with Mr. Bostrom from 2019. So in the first question, the question says, when you first published this paper back in 2001, had you seen The Matrix? Now he's got all these ideas about the simulation, right? Mr. Bostrom says, I don't think I'd seen it. Done. I don't think I'd seen it. You're lying. I don't believe you. I don't believe a word you have to say. I don't believe a word you have to say. You don't think you saw it? You don't think you saw it? I feel like you would know that you saw it, because either it would have inspired you to look into these things or to come up with this idea and expound upon it, or you would have had this idea, you would have seen The Matrix and gone, yes, that's what I've been saying. That's the idea that's been rolling around in my big fucking head. I don't think I'd seen it. I don't believe anything you have to say.
And he presented 3 scenarios of likelihood. The first scenario is human beings never reach a point in civilization where they're technologically advanced enough to create a simulation that feels real. The second is we do end up getting advanced enough to make the technology for a simulation, but either we have no interest in pursuing it, or we end up destructing the planet with nuclear weapons before that could ever happen. The third, we're in a simulation.
So, okay, this is the third time I've watched this, and I don't know if I'm confused. We're in a simulation. These are the 3 types of simulation. The third type is we're in a simulation. I'm not even going to go back and make sure I heard that right. I feel like that's what I've heard every single time. So I'm going to say that's what I heard. Don't correct me in the comments. I don't want to fucking hear about it. But leave me a nice comment and tell me about what you did today.
So when you hear like Elon Musk talk about it, I think he popularized it for a lot of people, and he says that the chances of us being in base reality is like 1 in a billion.
The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
Well, actually he said 1 in fillions. Is that a number? According to Urban Dictionary, a fillion is much greater than the normal ass billion or trillion. It's the godmother of all large numbers. So, you were wrong, Jared. You were wrong.
Why bother typing your contact information into another person's phone when they can get the information from a microchip on your fingernail?
I like that Shane is overcompensating right now for the last series he did, where he didn't credit any channels that he used their footage, by saying that this footage comes from Inside Edition, even though literally the lower third logo says Inside Edition next to it. But I guess, cool effort.
So obviously, it doesn't seem as though we'll never be able to create a simulation. I think if anything right now, the world is proving that they want a simulation.
I thought you said we were already living in a simulation. When did my hand get there?
So I'm like, okay, people are, even like Instagram. I was looking at Instagram filters, and some of them are created by kids, and they're so in-depth and crazy, and like putting things on your face and putting monsters, like, and I was like, okay, so clearly technology is advancing.
Yeah, we have like full AI robots who can like do things. But Instagram filters is the proof of technology advancements.
It doesn't seem that far away at all.
No, if you were to base it off of technology's exponential growth in the past 10 years, we're probably very close to it. We went from Nintendo in the early 90s.
Well, actually, that would be 1983, Jared, but good try. Go deeper into the simulation.
Now we're at a point where you can pretty much be inside the world in Nintendo.
You can literally
put on goggles and you're there.
Yeah, like that game that people were playing where you put on the VR and you think you're like walking out of a building on a plank and you think you're gonna die, and people actually like broke their TVs because it was so real for them.
That game looks dope.
Okay. Say we are in a simulation, which...
Let's assume we are.
Okay. We're assuming we're in a simulation.
I thought we were already assuming that. I thought that was already the assumption. I'm gonna count this as the confusing timeline jump. They can't even get our whole ass universe timeline correct, so I'm confused. I don't know about you.
So, to keep going, I think it's important. There's a quote by a quantum physicist named Werner Heisenberg. If we're going to keep talking about the universe, I think it's a very important quote to bring up. He says that not only is the universe stranger than you think, it's stranger than you can think. So,
Ew.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first round of Ew, brought to you by Shane Dawson. Not sure why that ew was warranted, but you know what?
That's too real.
yeah.
Ew.
Well, for fuck's sake, that would be another ew. Oh, geez, we're getting a little aggressive. Ew, it's right there. You get it.
Okay, this is crazy. So last night I did my first remote viewing test.
What?
My name is Lori Williams. My strongest thing is that we teach remote viewing.
Remote viewing.
Remote viewing.
Remote viewing, also known as ESP.
No credits for these creators or people who are running cults.
How is remote viewing used today?
I've been tasked to help locate murderers and to unravel clues, missing persons.
And also the CIA was involved in the research.
How do the American military use remote viewing?
Mainly to sort of locate intelligence, secret sites and things like this.
And they ended up using remote viewing for 15 to 20 years.
If you had an ability to be able to remotely perceive stuff.
Why is some of this credited and some of it isn't? That's what I want to know. It just says the inconsistencies are really obnoxious.
Any place in the world, that could be an extraordinary intelligence source.
And if it was working, why did the government decide to cancel the program in the mid-90s?
Oh, this is cumbersome as fuck. Research time. If it was so successful, why they stopped using it in the 1990s. This is according to Wikipedia. Remote viewing was popularized in the 1990s upon the declassification of certain documents related to the Stargate project, a $20 million research program that had started in 1975 and was sponsored by the U.S. government in an attempt to determine any potential military application of psychic phenomena. The program was terminated in 1995 after it failed to produce any actionable intelligence information. That's fucking why. Anyway, carry on.
I think they canceled it because they had so much more sophisticated ways of spying on people.
That's a weird way of saying it didn't work.
I don't want to give away what it was because it's part of the class, so I don't want to give it away for you, but I got it pretty much accurate.
I'm gonna count this also as a confusing jump in time, because the first time I watched this I was like, what are you talking about? Is this related to the simulation thing? What is this and why do I care? Like, it's like jumping into a scenario that Shane is already like fully invested in and fully like practicing, and like we haven't been let in on this like even a little bit. This is such a terrible way to tell a story. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick, but like, you know, it's a terrible way to tell a story, so I'll drink to that.
Then she gave me a list of target practices. So I chose this one, and I went through the whole process of writing down the number. I don't want to give it all away because you should just take the class.
Take the class. Okay, I know it's in his description. I feel like this video is going to be like 2 hours long. But like, come on. All right, let's find this class. I want to know how much this class costs. Oh, it's a free class. Okay. All right, fine. One for you, Shane Dawson. It is weird though.
So I didn't know what the picture was. I just only knew the file image number, which is just a random number. I wrote down cement, gray, rough, gravel-like, man-made steel, small plants, sucker-like plants, like round, blue, the color blue, wheels, dry, daytime. And look at the picture. What? Cement, gravel, man-made small steel, small round plants, blue, daytime, dry.
Bored, stupid, I'm tired. Drink.
I just did another one. Blue, green. I put burning with orange glare. Small sunlight, orange glare. Like I just kept putting that. I put wet feeling, and then I put cracking sound. Picture. A birthday cake with a candle being lit. Green, blue, burning, small orange glowing sun, wet, cracking sound.
What were you trying to validate wet as? The cake is wet? I'm wet. I'm getting wet.
Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this for a couple hours and I'm gonna see how good I can get at this. And then I think I'm gonna try to test it out on some people in real life. It's just so scary.
Is it? Because it feels like... Oh god, I just spilled it everywhere. Anyway, I feel like this qualifies for Shane pretends to be scared / overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but I do know that I'm covered in black cherry truly, and so is my carpet. Anyway. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, are you guys ready to see if I can read your minds?
I more so want you to predict my future.
Oof.
Oh no!
Well, like, did he just become Miss Cleo? Or did he take a class on, like, clairvoyance? Like, this is dumb. I said it last time, and I'll say it every time, because I think it's true. Like, I feel like all of the appeal of Shane Dawson was in the dynamic of the friend group. And as much as I love Morgan, I love their mom, and as much as I love their grandma, and as much as I despise Ryland, it just doesn't have the same, like...
Is it a video game? Am I some alien blob?
Yes, you are. I'll drink to that confusing jump in time. I wish we could stay on one timeline. I don't know if it's his editing or Chris editing or what, but the jump in timelines is so distracting from the fucking point. And it gets more distracting as we go, and I will point that out. But like, maybe I'm just stupid. Am I just stupid? Like, I find it really hard to like follow a theory in this like completely non-linear way. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Either way, I do need a drink.
Or is it like a flashback? Because I've heard of that, like the ancestor simulation. Where
So it's almost in the future, we want to understand our past, so we create simulations that we can relive the past in. A point would be basically to learn from the past and to put ourselves through as many scenarios as humanly possible. So like the simulation that we're in right now could be ran 1,000,000 times, you know, and over the course of the 1,000,000 times, they're gonna learn lessons in each one, different probabilities, things of that nature.
Okay, so again, this is going back to like where like spirituality and religion is concerned, because this feels a lot like reincarnation. This feels like an explanation of fucking reincarnation, coming back and doing your life differently so that you learn different lessons until you do it right. And then, I don't know, is that how reincarnation works? It sounds like it. I got a raspberry lime one this time. I haven't tried this one yet. I don't even like these. That's okay.
I mean, maybe at one point people just become so bored they want to relive the past. Whoa. You know?
Of course they do. That's why trends come back. That's why fashion trends come back. That's why certain music styles come back. That's why people end up with fascinations with decades prior to them. Have I just been looking at me the whole time? I probably have. I'm sorry. That's probably really annoying. No, but I think that's a very common thing. Like, I don't think what they're explaining is can be attributed solely to a simulation theory. Like, this just sounds like fucking regular life. Or maybe I'm a simpleton. I don't know.
So let's just assume that we are in a simulation.
Okay. How do I explain this?
I forgot, how do I explain this? You know what? I'm gonna drink for it anyway. You know, I'm a good I'm a good sport. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say I'm a good sport.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So I need you guys to go on the internet, get a picture of a random location, something that you guys don't tell me.
Anywhere on the globe?
Anywhere. Then you're gonna think of a 6-digit code, 6-digit number that can be totally meaningless, totally pointless, and you're gonna fold up the picture and put it inside. You're gonna tell me what the number is, and I'm gonna do a remote viewing session where I predict what's going to be on the picture. This might not work. But
so what's the conspiracy? Thank you, Morgan, for asking the question that I've been wondering for the past like 5 fucking minutes. What is the conspiracy? Because this feels like just tapping into your clairvoyant abilities, tapping into your own intuition. I mean, I haven't taken the class. Maybe that'll be the next video. But like, really, what's the fucking point of this? And why is there so much dramatic music over something so fucking stupid?
Let's use an example. Suppose your friend has gone to Europe and you decide one day you're going to tune into where she is. So you tune in and you get a picture of her
butt-ass naked in a hot tub with 4 French men. No, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know where she goes to vacation.
in a lake in a rowboat with an island in it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Same thing.
Okay. How did you get that?
So I'm gonna print it, seal it inside the envelope.
Do we get to mail it to you?
And write.
Do we get to you?
Yes. See you in 5 days.
I'm gonna fly to Colorado. You guys mail it to me.
I like sending people letters. If someone sent me a letter, I think I would.
Someone get Morgan a pen pal.
Don't give me any hints.
Okay.
It has to be 100% real.
Okay. I know we're laughing now, but if you do this, I'm gonna shit my pants.
That was barely humorous.
Is it everybody's simulation?
Personal belief is we all share a collective consciousness. We're all tapped into the same simulation. That's why you enter a room and you feel energy. And not everybody though. Like not everybody is tapped in quite the same.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that sounds like bullshit. It's not that I don't like find this shit interesting. It's not that I'm like I want to be dismissive or like I think conspiracy theories are stupid or even the simulation theory. I think it's all very interesting. In fact, when Shane had Jared on before and they talked about the flat earth theory and they talked about it beyond the fact that like they believe the earth is flat, it was actually really interesting. And in some like minute pieces of the theory, it was actually like almost like I could see where it's plausible. Do I buy it? No, but I could see where it's a fun theory and it's interesting and I can see why people believe it. I'm gonna drink again because I think it sounds like bullshit and I think that Jared could stand to respectfully go out and touch some grass.
We've all asked the universe for a sign, you know? Give me a sign. Once you accept a sign that the universe gives you, you speak universe now.
Oh, good. Thank God. I'm gonna add it to my resume. Everybody on LinkedIn is gonna see that I am now fluent in universe. Am I right?
What about Route 66?
I feel like there's just too much going on. I was thinking like the Palm Spring windmills.
What about like a chicken farm? Okay, what about the White House? Last time we did one of these videos, there was an ulterior motive, so I never know what he's up to, so I'm trying to think of like, is this what he's actually doing or is he tricking us and we're gonna get shook by something else?
Well, he's been taking a course, so I'm pretty sure this is the gig.
You never know what to expect. You don't.
Wow, we're just a wild, wacky family with a camera in your face. This might be controversial. I know I give Shane Dawson a lot of shit, and I know that he's worthy of all of the shit because he's been gross towards, you know, people of color and children, things like that. Not a Shane Dawson fan, but there are like bits and pieces of the vibe of his old content that I used to really love. And it is all lost in that friend group. It's lost in Garrett and Drew and Andrew. Like that whole, they're dynamic. And like, I still, when I watch these videos, anticipate them to be, what is, get that fucking hair out of here. Like they're going to still be fun to watch. And they're just really boring.
Sajak is bored.
Oh, these so cute. For everyone who's wondering. I don't think you should put the words target location over the White House. I feel like that's a bad move.
There are certain things behind it, right? So there has to be a creator. There has to be the ultimate programmer behind this. There has to be rules. There has to be a system in place that governs the simulated experience. You have laws that govern society that keep you in line while you're here. Physics the natural law, gravity, things of that nature, to bring some kind of order to the existence. And the next thing would be the player.
Okay, so God, the Bible, the Ten Commandments, and the sinner, right? Like, I feel like all of this is a huge metaphor for religion. I mean, I know we're talking science, I know we're talking the universe, but we're also, like, being a flat earther, you're, like, dispelling a lot of science as well. Is dispelling the word disputing? I guess disputing is probably the word. Is it disputing? Is that what I'm looking for? You're also disputing a lot of scientific things as well. It just feels very Scientology. I don't know anything about Scientology. But, like, it feels very Scientology. It feels very cult-like. It feels very weird. I don't know. This conspiracy theory just doesn't... This presentation of this conspiracy theory does not really sit well with me.
So there's an old theory that inside of your brain is somebody sitting in a chair controlling the body, right? So let's say
Cheers, Shane.
Let's say the player is the brain, the character that you're playing is your body. Instead of a remote control and you have like all these buttons to press, we have 5 senses. These are our interfaces. You're playing GTA 5 or whatever it is, and it's all based in Los Angeles. For us, the system is the whole universe.
Yeah, I know. Me too. And then I'm driving around in my car listening to Billie Jean, and then getting out and like beating somebody up with like a wrench. And then there's ladies of the evening walking around, you know, as well. I'm sorry, he said GTA, and that's the only part I retained.
Is my conscience, the voice in my head, is that actually the person playing my game?
A simple answer, yes. I guess in the terms of what we're discussing right now, yes. That person that's in your brain, sitting on that chair, controlling what you're doing through your 5 senses, is ultimately telling you what to do.
I can't tell if Jared, who I'm going to respectfully ask to go out and touch some grass, I can't tell if he means there's a person in a chair in your brain. I can't tell if he means it literally or as like a metaphor. I really genuinely can't tell, because I would assume it's a metaphor, you know. I would assume it's just like hyperbole. It's like it's imagery. It's just to paint a picture. But like I also realize that he takes the flat earth to be fact. So like for me, I can't tell, you know. Thoughts?
How did you get that?
I guess that would be the case. We have to kind of just accept that as fact. I mean, like I said,
Shane even has his back to us. See? Out there. I want a poll. Okay, I want a poll. If we're doing, I don't know if we're doing a premiere of this video, but if we are, I want a poll in the chat. If we're not, poll in the comments. I'll leave a pinned comment. Do you think these videos, like, put aside your feelings about Shane, right? If you're sitting down to watch a video about conspiracy theories, would you like them better if they were all in like chunks of videos, like chapters? Like this is the chapter about a simulation and all that, you know, that encompasses in my conversation with Jared, and then a separate chapter in this video, or even a separate video about this remote viewing shit. Like, am I wrong? Like, would it not be better to have these like segmented as their own things rather than intertwined? I don't understand the jump in timeline shit. It drives me up a wall. I feel like these stories would be better told separately. Tell me this one story. Let me focus on this one theory. Let me focus and hypothesize, because by the time we've gone from let's talk about how life is a fucking simulation, and then we jump to this fucking remote viewing thing, I've already forgotten all the shit that Jared just said about the simulation. So now you want me to jump back into this conversation after I just jumped out of this conversation? Like I'm learning 2 different things and you want me to retain any of it? And you're jumping in timelines and doing 2 separate things? Like, stick to one. I can't. Why am I ranting about this so hard? Poll in the comments and or in the chat. Or maybe I forgot about this. Or maybe I edited it out. What do you think? Thirsty?
Can we seal it and lick it?
Sure.
You put your DNA on it.
Oh, conspiracy.
DNA is not a conspiracy, Ryland.
Want to see the numbers? Do you want the envelope?
Okay, what's the number?
The number is 645399.
Okay, so this is where this one comes into play.
Shane's small voice.
I'm not gonna show it to you every time, but I will drink every time. So let's hop to.
What would you do if he guessed it perfectly right?
If he guessed it perfectly on the first try, and he comes in here with a picture of a White House with a little fountain, I will drop dead to the floor and say, I'm done.
So in regards to...
Okay, I'm not gonna bitch about the timeline thing again, but I really want to. Instead, I'm gonna take one deep breath and I'm gonna move on.
I've done a lot of research. One thing that really interests me is monuments, like the pyramids of Giza, the pyramids in Teotihuacan. Early cavemen, they drew Orion. And a lot of us are familiar with Orion's belt, the constellation. There's 3 very prominent stars in the sky, but the whole constellation depicts a hunter, or Orion the hunter. So what would motivate cavemen to paint something on their walls? It's probably an homage to their creator, I would imagine. And the creator even taught them how to hunt, because if you look up at Orion, it looks like somebody hunting with a bow and arrow. Just say that Orion is the ultimate programmer, he's the coder, the ultimate creator. He gave us a lot of clues, and it's really up to us to figure these things out, right? Move further throughout time, and you start with the pyramids. So the pyramids of Giza, if you align them perfectly, they go right with Orion's belt.
I didn't research this. This isn't a research time, but this is gonna be that sounds like bullshit. Because I wouldn't. Okay. People without technology also use things like stars, the sun, the moon, things like that in terms of like geography, like getting to where they need to go. It was the Google Maps of the untechnological era, right? So I don't think it's like as mad coincidence that it aligns with Orion's belt as like Jared wants to make it to be. Or maybe it is, but like thinking about it, it makes a lot of fucking sense that it aligns with Orion's belt, because they probably used the very vivid Orion's belt in the sky as some sort of marker, you know? I'm just fucking spitballing.
There's the pyramids of Teotihuacan. That aligns perfectly with Orion's belt. And if you take the measurements, this is the crazy part to me, if you take the measurements of the Great Pyramid of Giza and you take the perimeter and you times it by the same number that you would times the height by, you can get the land mass and the total circumference of the Earth. So,
first of all, I don't trust anyone who says height. Second of all, I don't trust anyone who says times it by, unless they're in like 2nd grade. This is clearly a man in his 30s. Say multiply, not times it by. Grow up.
The story that we're told is that slaves in Egypt built these crazy monuments that could never be reproduced, right? 2.3 million, up to 70-ton-pound solid granite rocks. They're supposed to just be tombs for mummies, you know? But how did these people know the exact circumference of the planet?
Oh, this is making me sick.
I mean,
they don't have to. I mean, look, I don't know. That's an interesting fact. I looked into it. There are some people who think that it's not, you know, a non-issue. It's it's pure coincidence. It's whatever. And then there's a lot of things that are like, hey, what's up with this? What else do the pyramids tell us? What else do the mathematics of the pyramids tell us? Blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Why do I care? I don't.
Just having the idea that these ancient Egyptians did this is pretty gnarly. But what if they were already here? What if these monuments were actually put on Earth as legends for us to decode throughout time?
Like, right? A task in a video game? Like a Rubik's Cube.
Like a Rubik's Cube. You know? But how did these people know the exact circumference of the Earth?
Like a fucking task in a video game? Like a Rubik's Cube.
Like a Rubik's Cube. And once we open up Pandora's box, something is going to expose itself to us. Because you know they say there's levels to the game, right?
I'm gonna throw up. This is freaking me out.
And the pyramids of Giza are by far the most popular pyramids. But in Mexico, the Teotihuacan, at one point it was a city that housed about 170,000 people. Another area where they had 3 pyramids. And if you look it up, and I can actually show you, the layout of this town of Teotihuacan matches pretty much exactly to what a motherboard on a computer looks like. What? It's pretty insane.
Okay, yeah. But like a map of rural Illinois also matches a map of my dead Farmville farm from 2012. It's interesting. Oh no, I'm getting tired. That's interesting, I guess.
That's what I believe. I believe that Orion is the ultimate coder, and he gave us clues, and there are people that are aware of this, and they do not want us to find out. So
Why? Why do they not want you to find out? What's gonna happen if you find out? You found out. You fucking found out. What's the information? What's in there? What's happening? What's being hidden from us? Why have so many of us been able to live our lives into their 70s, 80s, 90s, some into their hundreds? Why have we all been allowed to live peacefully or not, whatever? It's just...
in China, there's pyramids everywhere, but they cover them. They don't even allow it to be known that there's pyramids in China.
In China, there's a huge pyramid. The size of Chinese pyramid is even greater than the Egypt's pyramid, and the number of pyramids is also larger.
I didn't even know there was.
Yeah, they planted grass fields over all the pyramids.
Trees are planted, and it's covered by soil.
So there's no pyramids there anymore.
Chinese government never reveals the pyramid.
Maybe they just really like lush looking mountains. Pyramids. I'm getting too drunk for this.
Why? Because they're hiding their history. Because if you want to control a population, the last thing you want them to have is the truth. Right?
Okay. Well, it was really hard.
This is really hard.
I was getting a few specific things. Well, I have right here everything I was feeling about this place. So maybe show me the picture and I'll see if any of this connects with it.
You could open the envelope if you would like.
I'm scared.
It's the world premiere of I'm Scared. Coming soon to a much too inflated YouTube channel near you.
Okay, whoa.
What?
So I definitely want to do this one more time after this because I feel like I'm warming up. So the picture was of the White House. Fountain outside and a very obnoxious red flowers, but almost like it looks like a big red circle. So this is what I meant when I said random. So, man-made. I was getting a strong, like, something made out of wood. Like, something made out of... Bio, I was getting a strong something with water. Water. Which, there's a water fountain, so it's similar. Grass. Then I was getting polar ice white. So I was seeing whites. I was seeing white everything, and I'm like,
what would Shanae say about that?
okay. I didn't think it was snow. I didn't think it was, but I knew white. So I wrote down white in all caps. And I was getting red. I was getting red, like the color red. I underlined it because I'm like, there's something red here. Red. And I even wrote down Target, the store Target.
If somebody's getting too analytical, then it's probably wrong. So let's say they're seeing a sharp metal spire and they say, oh, it's the Empire State Building. That's probably wrong.
But it didn't feel like it. It felt like some kind of a symbol, which would be the red circle with the white in the center.
That is pretty much the Target logo.
Okay, we need to think of something new.
That's really crazy.
And the Metaverse is...
The Metaverse, to my understanding, is just a virtual reality land where once you put on these goggles, you're there.
So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like.
I don't want to look at Mark Zuckerberg.
Everything that we experience in this base reality is simulated in the metaverse.
Starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
I think he's made of worms. And the Oscar goes to...
They say that the ultimate goal is to figure out a way to download consciousness. Just like Google could finish a sentence for you, you know, or like Amazon knows to a 1% what their normal customer is going to buy next. It's like they're downloading your consciousness right now every time you Google something. Every time you post something. Just like we all get weird alerts on our phone of things that we were thinking of, but we never said out loud.
Now, of course, we understand ads are tailored to us by the things we search.
This is David Whitney, the White Hawk. And his video, Can Cell Phones Hear Our Thoughts / Read Our Minds? Since Shane's not going to credit this creator in the video and only going to credit him in the description, I will, because fuck, you used enough of his video to make a point, but not enough to give him credit.
Hey, remember that movie? I'm thinking to myself in my mind, remember that movie? I'm thinking of a movie that came out over 25 years ago, and it was about these people who would morph into cats. There was no stars in this movie. I hadn't thought about this movie in over 25 years, haven't mentioned this movie, I've never seen it advertised anywhere, nothing. Just something that just came into my mind, and that's, what was the name of that movie? I'm thinking to myself, Sleepwalkers, that was it, Sleepwalkers. And just like that, the thoughts go on from my mind, we fall asleep. First thing in the morning, I get up, I get on YouTube, I'm scrolling through, the very first thing I see as I'm scrolling down YouTube. Would you be interested in renting Sleepwalkers?
Also, Shane listed it as the movie Skinwalkers, which is not what it's called. It's called Sleepwalkers. So, I hope you really paid attention to the video if you went all the way to the bottom of his description box to find that creator and the video in question.
It gets so deep because it's a simulation that started, let's say Orion started it, but it's evolved into something completely different. It's like now the simulation has been hacked, it's been infiltrated.
You're going to be able to send a text message just by thinking about moving your fingers.
The only proof I need that we're in a simulation is when people like Mark Zuckerberg use hand gestures and they're like, this is very natural. Like, it's like Jenna Marbles doing the Hillary Clinton arms. Like, it's literally like, this is so unnatural. You're going to be able to think about it. I don't have an expression on my face.
That's going to be pretty amazing.
This is how we'll all be interacting one day.
Thanks, Michael. That was awesome. All right.
Thanks, Marty. That was awesome. All right.
I think he said like a place. Because if we draw a spaceship and he can only see storefronts, that's going to be a disaster.
What if we did like an old wood roller coaster?
What about one of those like big fair towers that you drop on? You could even just do that.
Yeah, that actually is pretty good.
Okay, let's go find it.
Oh, good. We still haven't let go of the Ryland having a vagina joke. Thank God that's still alive and well. And my inclination was to say Ryland needs to take an improv class, but he would be the most obnoxious person in an improv class. Be zip zap zapping his way right out the fucking door.
Okay. Let's see. Specific guesses, which probably won't be one of these, but maybe it'll be in this world. Okay. Okay. My first initial thing that I instantly felt, but I think it's wrong, was like a spaceship or something. That was my first initial thing.
Oh, that is just crazy. And then I was like, we can't do that because he's never gonna get that.
Space. That is so weird. I literally wrote down space rocket ship. Rocket ship.
Really? Wow. Yeah, we were in here talking. That's why I asked you
weird.
what. Yeah.
That is so weird. Okay, that's really weird. Okay, so it's not that, but I did get that feeling.
First. Okay.
That's really weird. And then my second thing that I started seeing was like a carnival or something. So that was one of the things that I started feeling.
Okay, go ahead.
So my official guess is either a roller coaster or like a theme park.
And it could be more broad. It could be a theme park.
like to think is these are signs from the creator to help us wake up. Like, look, you just experiencing something crazy. How do you explain it? What would be the best way to explain this happening? It kind of feels like a video game. It kind of feels fake. It kind of feels like it's a simulation. Why don't you go with that thought, explore the notion, and where does it take you?
Can the phones read my mind, or are we in some simulation theory? Is this not reality?
Unfortunately, though, we live in a society that if you take that notion and you try to move on it, you're crazy. You're a lunatic, because they don't want you to go against the narrative. The biggest threat to a controlling body is free thinkers.
What's the end game, though? Like, what's the end game in looking for answers? Like, what are you looking to find? What are you looking to get out of it? Do you even know? Do you even know what you're looking for? Do you even know if you found what you were looking for, would that make your life better or would it make your life worse? Would maybe spitballing, I mean, I know it's not the pattern of behavior with like our government or like our, I don't know, people who hide things from us, but like, what if it's to protect us? You know? Just, again, just spitballing.
Do this a little different. This is not remote viewing. This is me seeing if I can get inside your guys' heads.
Did a thought, you thinked real good, you got everybody, yeah, neat job. But like, this isn't even fun to watch. Like, this is just
I feel like you're already there.
You bet, Shane. You bet.
A pen and a paper. Here's what I'm gonna do. Write down this number, 072255. So basically what you want to do is you want to keep your conscious mind occupied. Doing that is because they're trying to give their conscious mind something to do while their subconscious mind opens up. So if you want, you can do however you want. You can just scribble, you can do little squiggles, whatever you want to do. But every time a word comes to your head, even if it doesn't make any sense, write it down, write it down, write it down. Now I'm going to start sending you guys words to your heads. Okay. You know, the last thing I want to do is say, like, we're in a simulation, and then people go out and start hurting each other, and then who cares? It's all a video game anyways.
Wait, how am I supposed to focus on this if we're moving on to the simulation talk?
You got tacos. Are you hungry?
What does the place smell like? What are the colors? What are the colors in this place?
Okay. My eyes closed.
I put Cheesecake Factory or McDonald's. A grave also came to my mind. I don't know why, like a graveyard. Whoa. I don't know why.
Yes, well, I wrote down church, I wrote down Holy Trinity, I wrote down priest, I wrote down temple. But then I moved into like, okay, maybe it's not church, maybe we're in Vegas. Like I was seeing like lights, casino. But then there's like something that's kind of dark about it. I wrote down 3 helps. I wrote down a lot of things.
You got tacos. Are you hungry? We love to laugh in this family.
We're picking up the vibe.
Did I not get it?
I feel like everybody would be happier if they all knew that we are all connected. And yeah, we're literally all a part of the same simulation. So let's, you know.
I mean, we are. The only thing separating any of us is land and water, you know? We're all on the same planet. We all are born, we all die, we all have wants, we all have needs.
But like, again, if the simulation theory is not a thing, right? Erase it from your brain. We are all still a society. We are all still a society of human fucking beings who all, we should come together anyway, just because we are humans who exist with other fucking humans. Like, we don't need a whole simulation theory for us to come together and feel more unified as people. We need to just make the best effort to fucking be unified as people. I don't understand. Like, this all feels like a big metaphor for a bunch of things that already exist. I feel like we are overcomplicating things that already exist and are already part of our society, part of us as human beings, part of our religious backgrounds or spiritual backgrounds. I just feel like this is kind of dumb. I feel like it's kind of dumb.
We all want love. We want all these things, and it's like, why do they make us feel so divided? I think the more people that accept, whether it's a simulation or we're in a world where we're being controlled and they're over it, the better. Because that means that we can actually join forces and we can live the existence that was intended for us.
How do you figure? If it's how it's intended for us, we're all already living exactly the way we should be, whether or not we're programmed into this like simulation idea or not. If you actually believe it, then everybody is already a part of their own simulation, right? Like, I don't feel like it only applies to people who believe in it, right? Like, isn't that the theory? Isn't that why people push like religion so hard on other people, is because they feel like it's the way? I just spit at you, I'm really sorry. But like, you know, like Christianity in particular, that's the only one I can really speak for. But like, it feels like this is the way, this is how it is, this is the facts, this is what God is, this is what, you know, this is how you can be saved, you are a sinner, you are this and that. Like, they believe it for everyone, but not everyone chooses to believe, you know? So I feel like this is a fine theory, but like, we're kind of like, this is just so overcomplicated, and I'm just so, I'm so tired.
Whoever created this, I believe, put us here to further evolve the creation, not to devolve to a point of depression and misery and just for a few people to be happy, you know? So that's what I like. I think the simulation theory could unite us. Yeah, to me it's nothing but positive.
And you think Orion created all this?
I think the simulation that we're experiencing, yes, Orion makes the most sense to me. Now, who created Orion? And who created Orion?
They were talking to me, the spirits. Look at all of that work to get me to Cheesecake Factory.
I did do some research today on the other side of the conversation, which is like people who are against it. And there are a lot of people who think it's really dangerous because you're opening yourself up to evil spirits that could come in and attach to your subconscious, which is like the scariest place to have something.
I'm sold against this.
And your subconscious lives right here. Right here.
Maybe it's a sign that we should go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, this just feels like a huge promotion for that lady's course and the Cheesecake Factory. So when you're done learning how to guess a picture, you can go have 35 different types of cheesecake.
Like, when you guys leave my house and you guys drive away, do you not exist anymore? Like, only what's in my vision exists. Like a computer game, like when you're going through, Animal Crossing, and as you're going through the buildings start to appear and stuff. Is it like that, or is that not the simulation?
Yeah, the only things that need to be rendered are the things that you're looking at. Oh. So if, like right now, we're filming in this room, so what's on the other side of that wall? It don't matter, we can't see it.
It's Riley right now, he's in the bedroom. Is he not there?
I don't know. I mean, he could be.
I really like the fact that like you could start one of these videos of mine where I'm like peppy and I'm telling you all the things and I'm running out of breath because I'm talking so fast, and then by the end I'm just like a beat down sack of skin with no soul left in her body, who's a little bit drunk. And I forgot you were there for a minute. This was that video. I don't know if this was actually considered commentary or if this was just a series of small rants with like a prop. Either way, good for me. Anyway, this video was really boring, and I hate the jumping timelines thing. And it was just boring for the most part. That's all I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, mine, not Shane's, please feel free to give it a like. Again, remember to please subscribe, or make sure you're still subscribed, in case YouTube gave you the Toby Keith boot in your ass for the red, white, and blue. If you want this, leave a comment down below and tell me leave a comment down below that just says, hey, what's up you guys? Yes. And I will choose one of you with absolute reckless abandonment. Is that the word I want to say? Abandon? Not abandonment. Reckless abandon. And reckless abandonment. All my social media and my Patreon are linked down below, as well as my podcast with my good friend Haley, which we haven't recorded a podcast in a while because, well, we've both got lives and children and things to do. So, but new episodes are coming soon, and I'm also moving. So bear with me. Everything's gonna be a little sporadic, but we'll get it back to where we were. I'm gonna go now. What are you gonna do? Let him know who's boss. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I don't want to hear another word. Stand up there. All of you need to touch some grass. For a long time, every blade in your front yard. I gotta pee, and there is truly all over my floor. What?